And he has been putting in quite a lot of work in the lead up here to IEM. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have our South Korean Zerg player. The red Zerg representing Mystery Gaming. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. Representing himself, currently teamless. It is Stats. A shout out to SHIN, by the way. It was so wholesome. SHIN, he had an interview. Oh, never mind. Hold that thought as we're going for a proxy hatch. Hold that thought as SHIN is going for a drone across the map. He's looking for, I imagine, a hatch block. Here we go, just waiting a little bit longer, going for the natural base, and he does throw down the hatchery, disrupting the opener of Stats. So the way this works, this is not, we're not going to be finishing it. We shouldn't finish the hatchery. This is just designed to delay the mining and disrupt the economy. This is the equivalent of an eBay block in PvT, for example. So boys are being pulled. We do have to pull 6 probes to DPS down this building. Again, this is enough DPS to stop the production of the hatchery. Zealot should be on the way as well to force a cancel. SHIN may even cancel and throw down an Evo chamber just to delay the expansion even further. Behind this, we do have a gas into spawning pool, into hatchery. So this is not an all-in from SHIN. It is just, again, a way to slow down the economy of Stats. There's a cancel, drone survives, and if SHIN has it in him, oh, he's going to delay the expansion even further. Oh my god. Is again being as annoying as possible. He could go into the main base. He could try and go for a gas steal as well. We have seen Dark do that. Speaking of, the drone does get into the main base. Can he get the gas? Does he go for it? Oh my god. Not quite. Stats quick to pull the boy. Quick to get in position. Denies the gas. And does force SHIN back. For those that are curious, if you have a worker right up against the gas geyser, it does count as being in the way of the building. So you cannot throw it down. Or the opposing player can't throw it down. So that's why the probe was on hold position there. To make sure that SHIN didn't steal it. And now we are getting back into this. The game is going to be settling. SHIN is double expanding, getting into a macro game. Pulling workers here once he gets 100 gas. Not rushing into a fast lair. No baleen bust, no roach rush. Just getting into link speed. And we should be droning. Oh my, even delays the Stargate. So this is a rough start for SHIN. It's for Stats, sorry. It's a rough start for Stats. He has been quite delayed. Has been slowed down. It's going to be on Stats to find some counter damage here. Gets across with an Adept. With a second Adept. And he will shade in. SHIN, he's even doing his best Protoss impression. Delaying mining here in the main base. Disrupting the mining, I should say. Even stealing a mineral before being killed. We do see Stats threatening a shade, but it looks like, no, we do get a surround. Oh, this is a rough moment. Yeah, both Adepts will fall. And we can't afford to lose these Adepts. With the death of these Adepts, that means the third base for Stats is going to be delayed. It means it's going to be that much more difficult for Stats to expand. SHIN should be counter-attacking. And there we go. He is sending out his Lings. Now, these Lings, they shouldn't push into the natural, but their goal is to have a presence at the third and get a kill on that probe. He's going for it. Does see the probe. Goes for the Adept. Doesn't quite get it. Oracle is in position. Oracle is in position, and SHIN doesn't collapse on that worker. Goes to the Adept. He will get it. Another Adept goes down. Oracle, it's out of energy. Not like this. Out of energy. The pylon is going to be denied. We shouldn't cancel the Nexus. It should finish. As the Lings, they do back off. Behind this, we're going to be expanding. Taking our gases. Saturating our third. Shin being as active as possible. We are going into a Ling flood. A little bit surprising. Not expecting 18 Lings, not at this phase of the game. Looks like Shin, he wants the third. Oracle gets a couple of drone kills. But this third base is looking so exposed. There's no shield battery. Only one adept. And we do get a surround here from both angles, from both ends. We go for a warp in, but all three adepts are going to be going down. And the pylon. Oracles, they come back home. They save the pylon at least. They do save the pylon. But Shin is just going to be droning. We have a Roach Warren on the way, followed by the Lair for Roach speed. Shin even threatening a surround on those Stalkers, forcing the Pulsar Beam to be activated. Death of that Overlord will supply block Shin. Oh, that is 7 Overlords on the way. That's a brutal supply block. So a nice moment for stats. Supply blocking Shin. Outside of that, we have our transition. We are going into Twilight Council Forge. It's going to be +1 on Blink. +1 on Blink on the way for stats. Followed by the Robo. The Robo tells us that it looks like we shouldn't be like hitting with 8 gates or anything like that. It looks like stats may just turtle up and work towards Colossus. Given the early game, that would make sense. As Shin is working towards Hydras. Okay, so not committing to Lingbane Roach Ravager. He has Roaches, yes, to begin with, but we are working towards those Hydras. Meanwhile, we spoke about how it looked like Stats was playing defensively, and he is. He walls off of these gateways. That is a Bay on the way. He should be working towards a second Robo and double Colossus production. It's a very tech-heavy style. Because of this playstyle from Stats, it means that Shin has a lot of freedom, and if Shin realizes what's going on, he should be free to throw down a Lurker Den, an Infestation Pit, and work towards Hydra Lurker Viper. That is going to be available here for Shin, if he so chooses. Overseer's on the way, still lacking scouting information. Still trying to piece together what's going on. Still is attempting to. Now, what is intriguing to me is that Stats didn't throw down a second Robo. He's only making 1 Colossus at a time, which is interesting to me. It does mean that he has extra resources to invest into his Gateway army instead. So Stats could be moving out. I mean, he is. Prism to harass, Stalkers through the center. Link run by threatens a counterattack. But Stats does push onto creep, but we have Hydras lying in wait. And they will defend. Adepts into the main base. We have plenty of Queens in position. And Shin, he's cutting workers at 3 bases. 67 drones. That is all he has, and he's maxing out here on Roach Hydra. Very interesting unit composition. Colossus has arrived. We're breaking through. Good stasis trap here at the ramp. Shin cannot push up, as we essentially have force fields. And we're about to have a second Colossus, which is going to help. Do have another stasis trap set up. We can see Shin getting ready for the surround. Does come in from the right hand side. Big stasis once again on the Lings. Shin is forced back once again. He wants those Colossus. It looks like he gets them. Does snipe one, and he barely gets the other as well. Big pickoffs here by Shin. Gets both Colossus, and now what is left to stop him? Only Stalkers. +1 Stalkers at that. Stasis trap going to be going off. Lings, they flood in from the right hand side. The stasis has run out. And Shin, he's broken this third base. Again, a really strong start for Shin. And he snowballed out of control. Was never in any danger. Barely lost any workers across the map to any harass. And GG gets called. Shin takes game number 1. GG. Again, a very chaotic start to the game there for Stats. Just really awkward because of the hatch block, because of the dead adepts as well. So he couldn't harass, he couldn't go for any adept harass across the map as he had lost his adepts. And he had to reinvest and even forced to keep his oracles at home. Remember, despite the oracle opener, he didn't harass across the map at all because of the lings. He was stuck at home. He was just stuck at home the entire time. Just really solid play there from SHIN. And with that, he is leading the series at 1-0. It's a best of 3. One more game and SHIN will take it. Stats needs to fight back here and now. Game 2. Alkione. Let's go. We're gonna be going from one of the smaller maps in the map pool to one of the larger maps in the map pool instead. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our South Korean Protoss. Our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, currently teamless, looking for a team. And of course, returning from the military, it is Stats. Is Stats himself. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player. The Red Zerg representing Mystery Gaming. Leading the series 1-0, it is SHIN. Now, oh, never mind. We're going for the gold. I was gonna say what I wanted to say before I was rudely interrupted by the proxy hatch of SHIN, but being interrupted again as SHIN is going for the goal base. Very aggressive opener here by our Zerg player. Very confident play as well. Oh boy, Stats, can he scout this? And if he does, can he punish it? That's the better question. Now what I was gonna say, very quickly, is that SHIN was so wholesome at IEM. For those of you that maybe missed the interview, he did have a bit of a spotlight and he was given an interview and he was asked why he name changed, right? Because for many years actually, SHIN was known as Ragnarok. He was known as Ragnarok. That was his ID. But last year, at the start of last year, he name changed to SHIN. And, you know, he was finally asked why. What was the purpose? For those who don't know, SHIN is his real name. We already knew this. SHIN, it's his IRL name. It's part of his Korean name. But he was asked specifically, like, what sparked the name change. And he did mention that he was at he made his GSL, if you remember. 2 years ago, he was in the GSL finals against Maru. We don't have to talk about the outcome of that finals. It was a brutal event. But he made it to the finals, and he spoke about how his parents went to the event. His parents were in the audience. They were in the crowd. And he said that his parents actually couldn't pronounce his name. They had a hard time pronouncing his name. Again, because of the Korean language, R is pronounced like an L, and it was a little bit awkward for them. And they had a hard time, like, saying his ID and stuff like that. So he said, you know, because of my family, because of my fans and stuff like that as well, did want to change my name and went for SHIN, went for his IRL name instead, which is cute. Like, I like that. For family, papi. His family did name change to SHIN. That was the reasoning for it. So we have some backstory on that. We now know why. Why exactly. So yeah, it was really cool of him to share that information with us. But for the time being, we're diving into this game, and we have opened up with the goal base. It has been scouted, has been spotted. We have a Stargate opener here by Stats. Should be getting into oracles, and the question becomes, Stats, with these oracles, with these adepts, can we punish the base? Meanwhile, SHIN does slip in with a handful of lings, going straight for the natural base as well. Probes are going to be going down. Oh, lost mine time. 2 lings in the natural, 2 lings into the main. Adepts, they race back home. Mining has been disrupted. We do get eyes on the Stargate. We get eyes on the Oracle. SHIN now aware of what's happening. Gets a probe. Almost gets 2. Does get 2. 3 probes go down as 2 lings in the main base at the same time. SHIN controlling on 2 fronts. Pulling Stats apart. Gets 3 worker kills. And the Oracle is now moving out. But we have a Spore on the way. We have a Queen in position. We have more lings flooding out across the map. The goal here for SHIN may be to force Stats to keep his oracles at home to defend. As Stats, he does catch that Stalker. And he will get a kill. Kills the Stalker. The Overlord survives. That was the only anti-air. It was a costly investment for SHIN, but it does mean that his Overlord survives. It does live. Adepts, they get across the map. Things they get here just in time. Ooh, good target firing. Adept goes down. We're down to 1. 2 Adepts, 1-shot drones. 1 Adept doesn't. So isn't as threatening. Is more manageable. Oracles come in, but the Spore is ready. SHIN, he is ready. He is in position. We do get 2 drones, which is 3 drones actually. Oh my god. 3 workers go down. Not bad. But Stats, he needs more. He is looking for more damage. Behind this, we have a Twilight Council. Where's the Forge, by the way? This looks like Glaive Adepts. There is no Forge for Stats, and there it is. Glaives is going to be on the way. Very common transition here from the Protoss. Island goes down. Very common, specifically against the gold base. You know, right now, Stats, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to punish this gold, so his answer to that pressure is going to be to go into Glaive Adepts. Can he pull this off? Spine Crawler on the way. Roach Warren in production as well for SHIN. He's not cutting corners. He's playing it safe. That is a lot of Adepts. Looks like we are moving out a little bit ahead of time. Glaives is still halfway done. That's applying a bit of pressure. Forcing out Roaches. We commit to the shade. No! That was a bit of a lapse in judgment here. We commit to the shade and every Adept is going to go down. We do not get into the mineral line. We get 1 shot off. That is it. Ay, ay, ay. And SHIN, he has other plans. So usually when you take the gold base, it's so we can be aggressive. You don't take the gold to be macro oriented. There it is. We're going for a Queen Wolf. Queens are waddling across the map. Roaches and Ravagers are amassing. Lings are on the way as well. SHIN is going for his own all-in. Stasis Trap not going to finish. Adepts, they're getting surrounded as well. Almost. Not quite. This creep is being spread. The army's still amassing. Do we have a transfuse? Ooh, we do miss it. Much transfuse there towards the end. Queens are going down. Good trades for Stats, actually. He gets 4 queens. Almost 5. But very nice trades here. As he gets a 5th queen. And where are the Roaches, by the way? Oh, they've been chasing the shades the entire time. Finally, we can surround this. Finally, we can collapse on this. But we lost 6 queens in the process. Good start for Stats. Uh-oh, where's the shield batteries? Shield batteries aren't ready. The shield batteries aren't ready. The ground army isn't here. The Biles, they shut down the shield batteries. They do fall, and we're breaking on into the natural base. GG gets called. Stats, he has nothing behind this. He did well with the Adepts initially, killing queens, but that's all he had, and SHIN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to SHIN, as he will come out on top here, will bring Stats down. Again, SHIN, he came in as the favorite player, and he had some fun with this series. Game 1, he went for a hatch block. Game 2, went for the goal base. Oh boy, just his aggression, just having a little bit too much aggression, too much momentum on his side, and Stats was having a hard time keeping up with SHIN. GG. GG, well played. Again, Stats recently I keep saying recently. Last year, he came back to the scene after his military service, and he's been working his way up, you know, up the ladder, up the ranks of the Korean players. Still has been struggling, I will say. A big reason for that is because he hasn't devoted as much time to StarCraft. He isn't a full-time player, for example. Isn't full-time anymore. But with his travels to Poland and with Stats qualifying for GSL, I have hope. I have hope that maybe that is enough to motivate Stats to commit and to practice, to do customs, to ladder, to improve, and to bounce back. I'm hoping that's the case, but time will tell. You know, GSL is in a month. I think slightly less than a month. So we'll find out, right? We'll find out Stats' form in a month in GSL. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy whatsoever for Stats. So we do wish him the best. Meanwhile, congratulations to SHIN for that. For that series, and that will be concluding our broadcast for the day. That was 5 best of 3s we just went over. There's still 4 more ahead of us, but that's a lot of matches. That's a lot of matches. We're going to be casting the remainder of Group B of the round of 24 of IEM Katowice tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Clem versus Clem is also in this group. The reason why we haven't casted Clem yet is because Clem was mainly featured on the mainstream. He was mainly featured on stage on the mainstream, and we are only casting side stream matches because I imagine most people watch the mainstream. So going over the side matches instead. So Clem was mainly on there, but up next tomorrow we have Clem versus SHIN, we have Cure versus Oliveira, another TBT, Clem versus Bunny, more TBT action, and Stats versus Cure. So we do have 4 more best ofs tomorrow morning in just under 24 hours. So look forward to it. Do look forward to it. More StarCraft is to come. Meanwhile, once again, when it comes to the ESL Open Cup Americas, we may cast that tomorrow as well. We may go over that. It does depend. It does depend on whether I can get my hands on those replays tomorrow or the day after. Just quickly checking our calendar here. We have time to slot it in tomorrow on... Wait, today's Thursday. God damn. Okay, tomorrow on Friday. So we could have an ESL Open Cup Americas cast on Friday or on Sunday. Those are the 2 days that we have available. So we'll figure it out. We'll see where the broadcast is held. Keep an eye on our social media. Keep an eye on Discord. We will be posting when we go live with it, as we did miss out on it this week. As ESL Americas is a pretty bad time for us nowadays. Pretty bad time, so we will find a time to cast it. Otherwise, thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. A big shout out to Kuro for handling these overlays. We have our lovely IEM logo and the planets behind us rotating. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, papi. Shout out to the other CranKy Ducklings as well. We did recently announce that the Sparkling Tuna Cup is returning soon, TM, in the coming weeks. On Sunday, actually, it is coming back. And our amateur tournaments, Sea Duckling Open and Master Swan Open, are also returning. They're also coming back. So plenty to look forward to. Plenty of StarCraft action up ahead of us. Plenty of StarCraft to come. So yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to it. If you want to support our tournaments, ! Patreon. Patreon in the chat does fund Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sea Duckling Open, and Master Swan Open as well. It is all funded via Patreon, and you can grow it via Patreon as well. If you so choose, you can support us there. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We will see you guys tomorrow for the remainder of IEM Katowice Group B. See you then. Till then, hasta luego, papi, hasta luego.
Making history. Absolutely phenomenal.
And Ace is the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters World Finals.
Storm's still not quite done. MC is going to take this fight, though. 3 seconds left.
Last 2 rounds of Passion's got to start it well for ESC.
And this is a massive move for Zez, but he's not content with just a Nexus kill. He